We're looking at short run costs, all right? Remember, in the short run, one resource is fixed, all right? So a company A produces toothpicks, okay? The fixed costs are 5 kwacha. Find the total cost and the marginal cost, right? So this is the output, all right? This is the output. We have our variable costs here. Remember, variable costs change as output changes, all right? And then we have fixed costs here, right? Fixed costs do not change and are not dependent on output. They remain the same, okay? They remain the same, right? So we're going to first find our total costs, all right? So total cost, remember, total cost equals fixed cost plus variable costs, right? We're just going to be adding our total costs, all right? So as I said, it's a fixed cost plus variable cost gives us, so our first total cost here is 5, right? Get our next one, we'll say 10 plus 5, we get 15, right? Next one, we'll say 18 plus 5, right? So as we produce 0 units, our total cost is 5 kwacha, right? Because remember, fixed costs are not affected if whether we're producing or not, all right? We produce 1 unit, all right? Our total costs increase to 15 kwacha, all right? Remember, the fixed cost still stays the same, but since now we've begun to produce, our variable costs begin to rise, all right? Produce 2 units, okay, our variable costs are still rising, our fixed cost still stays the same, but our total cost is rising, all right? Next one, when we produce 3 units, what's the total cost? It's going to be 31, all right? We produce 4 bundles of toothpicks, all right? Our total cost increased to 45 kwacha. And when we produce 5 bundles of toothpicks, our total cost increased to 65 kwacha, right? And then when we produce 6 units of toothpicks, our total costs increased to 125 kwacha, right? So now let's find our marginal cost. So remember, the marginal cost is the additional cost that results from producing 1 more unit, right? Additional cost that results from producing 1 more unit, all right? So here at 0, we do not have any marginal cost, all right? I'm going to go with the output of 1. What's the marginal cost? We'll say 15 minus 5 to be 10, right? Well, let me just write down the formula here. Marginal cost is change in total cost over change in output. Now, as you notice, the change in output is 1, all right? The change in output is 1 when we're just increasing output by 1, 1, 1. So our denominator is going to be 1. So the number will be focused on is in the change in the total cost, right? So we're going to say here, we say 23 minus 15, we get 8, all right? Then we're going to say 31 minus 23, we get 8, all right? Next we're going to say 45 minus 31, we're going to get 14. Right? Then we're going to say 65 minus 45, we're going to get 20. And then the next we say 125 minus 65, we're going to get 60. Okay, we're going to get 60. All right, so if we plot this on a curve, all right, we do this. Let's see how our graph will look like. All right, so let me try to zoom in more in our graph. Okay, so which we do not need this line for output. And first, let's focus on the total cost, fixed cost, and the variable cost. So you can see our fixed costs just stay the same, okay? It doesn't change, all right? It stays the same. But our variable costs rise, okay? They rise and they rise, keep on rising. Then our total cost, okay, also rises, all right? Our total cost rises, all right? So basically the distance between the total cost and the variable cost, all right? This vertical distance here, it's too small here, but this vertical distance represents the fixed cost also, right? This vertical distance represents the fixed cost. So this is how our graph is supposed to look like. Just zoom out. Yes, that is how our graph is supposed to look like.